Hello, friends. So, I have been actually really excited to tell you guys about this next one. Um, I love this book. So, I don't know what Ruby Dixon does, but she's a fantastic writer. Um, I think a lot of times people see, um, she's got Ice Planet Barbarians, and it kind of makes people a little bit wary. But honestly, read her books; they're really good. So we have obviously by Ruby Dixon. We have By the Horns. Now this is the second book in the series. It's the Royal Royal Artifacts. Yeah, it's the Royal Artifacts. Um, oh yeah, a Royal Artifactual Guild novel. So, um, now the first one was called Bull Moon Rising. I read that last year. Absolutely loved that as well. It's a very interesting book. If you have not delved into the like spicy monster situation, but this book is the second book in the series. Now they do run. How do we say that? It's a series, but like you could read this book and you would know what's going on. Like it doesn't just pick up, the storyline. It's a different storyline. So you have our main character Gwenna. She's photographed right there. Photographed. She's drawn right there in the picture. And then you have her minotaur raptor, and Gwenna is working to become a mage. And she has spent her entire life basically as like a servant or a handmaid. So she's learning how this all works. She not handmaid, maidservant, maid, whatever. Anyways, so she is really interested in this stuff now because the person that she was basically taking care of joined this mages guild in the first book. And so that's where we're starting off. Now, everybody in the book thinks she's a thief. And so Raptor is inserted into this guild, or inserted into this group of mages attempting to become mages, or people attempting to become mages, whatever, in order to find out whether or not she's the thief or somebody else in the group is a thief. And chaos ensues. Feelings get felt. And it's an overall, it's a good time. Now, it is a spicy book, so be aware of that. There is some tropes, kinks, things of that nature going on in here. If that is not your jive, feel free to move along. I, for one, had a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Every part of this was, it was very well written for what it is. It's just well written for a book, but it's very well written specifically for the fact that it is a monster spice book. Okay, a lot of times I have read them and there's no plot to them, or they're all spice, or they're terrible spice, or the plot over plots because they want to compensate. That is not the case with Ruby. She's got this down. She knows what she's doing. So and besides that, this is such a gorgeous book. Look at that. Hold on. You see that? Drinking in a tavern? I want to drink in a tavern with a minotaur while finding magical objects. That sounds awesome. Anyways, I really enjoyed this book. I rated it quite high. I want to say I rated it at a 4.75. I believe the only reason why it wasn't a 5-star book for me is there was just some inconsistencies which kind of irritated the crap out of me because that's me as a person. Had nothing to do with the book, had nothing to do with Ruby. It just was I get annoyed by little things. So 5-star reads are rare for me. But it was rated fairly high. Now, excuse me. I am going to tell you this is definitely a fantasy book. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is definitely a fantasy book. There is all kinds of cool magic system going on here. There is like I don't know. I don't know what he is like a salamander. I feel like a salamander guy. And he's super hilarious. Doesn't say a single word the whole book. And yet still hilarious. You have other minotaurs, and they're named after birds. Like, all of the mages are named after birds. It's weird. I don't know. It works, though. It really does. So, anyways, I would definitely check this out if you're in the mood for some fantasy, a little bit of spice. It's a good time. All right. See you guys in the next one. Bye.